musicians were all amazing. They all played their set, and they got on stage at the end as like the final kind of closing act, and they were all thrown together. And these are large bands, so there was like about 35, 40 musicians on stage, masters of their form, but from very different places and very different instrumentation. And for about a minute and a half, it was pretty uncomfortable. They couldn't really. I could tell there was not only a language barrier, but like who decided to put all 40 into something. And miraculously, somehow a rhythm formed, and all these musicians came together and created music. And it was beautiful. It was definitely some sort of fusion of music that no one's ever heard. We have tuba and throat singers, and we have a Persian percussion band, we have a Brazilian Angolan, kind of almost like operatic singer. It was really amazing, and it really inspired me to do something similar with cinema. At that moment, I had this idea of what if there was some simultaneous communication that could occur through the visual form? What if we all came together during a one-day period and we could film it and we could share it somehow? And like a lot of ideas, that's sort of like I wasn't sure what to do with it, and sometimes those ideas float away. But about a month later, it didn't go away, and I decided that I had to do something about it. And started one day on Earth.org and started emailing filmmakers for a while, and it was one of those things where it's literally over Vimeo, just finding people to sign up and say like, "Hey, would you film? We're gonna try to film in every country in the world in a couple years." And they went for it, and we started to grow. And there was a point though where this became, I think, more of a social media phenomenon, which is that sometime earlier this year, we went live with a true community site name, and we also started talking with the United Nations about collaboration. And when we went live, it started to allow conversations to actually happen on the site, but also in general, just the overall like amount of people who actually could come together for the first time in the same location, realize that they weren't alone in this blank sign-up world to film something. And so conversations started to be had on their own about the project, and the idea started to live on its own. And I think we want to share a video with you that is that we didn't produce at all. We didn't know the person at all, and they created this on their own in South Africa. And I mean, it brought a tear to my eye because someone did this just based on the concept that we were pushing out there. And
we all have our stories to tell. Look at me, mostly shy and quiet. Often I prefer being alone, busy captured in a world of imagination and ideas. I laugh, I think, I cry. As an African, I fear our land, corruption, hatred, anger. They are right here, carried through generations of violence and discrimination. Sometimes people forget we are free. I have stories to tell.
when I found that, actually, he posted that to our Vimeo channel, and it was like 2 a.m. And when I saw that, I literally started crying. We broke through, and we broke through in a big way in that there are thousands of people out there that want to tell their story, thousands of people that want to engage. And we also realized that we had something bigger on our hands that could help causes and that could help address some really serious issues to both local and global communities. And so back in April, we approached the United Nations, and it was an interesting experience in that we're not exactly suit and tie, but we sat down in front of the communications board and communications group and presented to various UN groups and left the meeting not knowing where it would go. Right now, I'm not sure if you're all familiar with the NDGs, the Millennium Development Goals, but the UN is focused on these goals. In 2015, they're coming up and they're trying to basically halve poverty around the world. And the UN recognized this project as a way to get on the ground stories of what's really going on around the world. And they embraced this project more than we ever thought they would, actually. Not only have they distributed camera scores, 120 cameras, to 100 developing countries in order to make sure that we truly are a global movement, they have also done something that is completely unprecedented, and I still almost don't believe. They have set up drop-off points in over 68 developing countries. So if you're in the Congo and you have any sort of video capability, you'll be able to share your story with the world by getting it to a UNDP office, and they will ship it back through the diplomatic channels back to the UN. We'll pick it up, we'll put it online, we'll share your story. And this is all part of a larger initiative to share stories in a way that people and our participants can download and actually sculpt their own edits of what one day on Earth is. So this archive is accessible to everyone, but downloadable to participants. So that's sort of the UN story, and along this way, we wound up meeting up with other UN groups, and they've sort of taken the cause. We've been posted on the UNICEF Facebook page last week, and got 700 likes in just a moment. Are we okay? 2 minutes to go, and here's this guy.
I think there's just a couple things that we want to say. One is that this is a community project. We built a community online, and part of that is, which I'll hand to Charles really quickly, is that, and I want to talk about causes first, but is that I never left the country in 2 years, and somehow we have people in every country in the world doing something together, and that's amazing. And also, we never really had much money or anything but time and energy, and we do owe some credit to a lot of other available tools out there, including me. And from that point, I just want to say to anyone who's interested in this project who's out there, we have over, how many nonprofits?
Over 50.
Over 50 nonprofits, including the World Wildlife Fund, American Red Cross, Human Rights Watch, Oxfam, and UNDP. And each of these causes has calls to action. So if you're interested in this project and you're not sure what you would want to film, maybe you believe in human rights. Maybe you could make some media for the day that would ask people about human rights or why it matters to them. And you can actually tag your footage and upload to support that cause. And so I encourage anyone who's interested to support one of the causes out there, because they really do matter. You really learn about the entire human condition and experience worldwide by digging deep through the initiatives that are there. Because at the end of the day, this is about creating a sustainable planet for communication and simultaneous creation. And I want to thank Charles here, because their technologists made that possible.
Thank you. And this is really all about these guys, and they've done an amazing thing. And I have 20 seconds, but
Sorry.
I think no, it's fine. No, it's fine. It's all about that. So, I mean, what this is really all about is proving that if you give people the right tools to collaborate, share, learn, and meet one another, you can really create a platform where people who don't know each other in the real world can come together, make really strong ties
Great job, guys. I